Are you a confident person? If the answer is yes, then I'm happy. If the answer is no, then let me ask you another question. Are you a good, kind person? If the answer is yes, then you should be confident. If the answer is no, I'm glad you could be honest with yourself. Now it's time to do the inner work and become the kind of person that you can be proud of. I saw something on Instagram the other day that said there will be so many people in life that will try to put you down. Don't be one of them. Just let that sink in for a second. That quote really hit home for me because it's true. There will be so many people in life that you meet that will mishandle you, but don't add yourself to that list. You should be your own best friend and biggest cheerleader. Why? You are the one and only person that you're guaranteed to spend your entire life with. And don't you owe it to yourself to make that relationship a healthy, happy one? Yes. Oh, and if you're the kind of person that only watches a couple of minutes before clicking off of a video, don't. You're not going to want to miss a single minute of this one. And if you actually want to become confident, then why wouldn't you stick around and watch the whole thing anyway? Just saying. Hey, hi, hello, and welcome back for another video. If you're new here, my name is Jaden, and if not, hey girl, welcome back. Good to see you again. Go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button and the notification bell so that you don't miss a single video. And like I was saying, if you're a kind, loving, compassionate person who wants what's best for others and doesn't do anything to harm yourself or anyone else, what the heck are you insecure for? Oh, what? Because society says you're not the beauty standard? Because no one at school wants to date you? Because you can't seem to get a second or third date? Who cares? Who cares? People are fickle and beauty is fleeting. People change their minds so quickly. Why would you put your self-worth and confidence in the hands of others? You don't think you're beautiful because social media says so? Whatever's trending right now says so? Screw that. Society profits off the insecurities of women. By telling us that we need to be more of this and less of that, they keep us questioning ourselves to keep us buying their products. It's a sick cycle, and I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of us literally buying into it. You don't need whatever is out there to make you feel confident. What you need is to do the inner work to get to know yourself and who you are, and to like the person that you see in the mirror, not for what they look like, but for who they are. And there's really no point in putting all of your self-esteem and your worthiness in whatever society or social media says. Because quite literally everything about women and our bodies has been a trend at some point. Everything from our makeup, our fashion, our hair, our body hair, our actual bodies. Like, what? There's no reason at all that young girls and even grown women should feel like they have to be either stick thin or BBL thick to be considered beautiful. So please, please, please do not base your self-worth and your value and your confidence on what society says is beautiful. Now, I know that's easier said than done when these trends and these beauty standards are being shoved down our throats all the time, and they're in our faces all the time as we're scrolling our phones. And as a multiracial woman who grew up in a small white town in Oklahoma, trust me, I get it. I know exactly what it feels like to look in the mirror and to not have a single quality of the status quo of beauty for where I live. I get it. So it wasn't just reiterated to me on social media on my phone or on a billboard on the side of the road. I was reminded of it every day when I went to school. But did I let that stop me? No. And once I got to college, oh, people were asking for my Snapchat, my number all the time. So it's not even that it's you. If you're not getting dates, which doesn't really matter, like work on yourself, girl. But if you're not getting dates, it doesn't mean that you're the problem. It could be that your environment is the problem. It could be that your kind of beauty is not appreciated where you are in your current moment. Because once I went from my small town to a bigger city with more diversity, I was considered beautiful. I was getting attention. I was getting asked out. And let me tell you, it threw me for a loop. I was not used to that kind of attention. And you might look at me now and be like, yeah, whatever. Okay, well, you're pretty, so of course. Girl, just because you and I think I'm pretty doesn't mean that I felt pretty on a daily basis when everyone else had a date to prom, but nobody asked me. I went to prom by myself junior year. And I wasn't boohooing and crying about it. I was happy. I had a good time. Trust me. You have to own your singlehood and own your beauty. It's like that saying about water and how much it costs versus where it is. Like a water bottle at a gas station might be $1, $2. A water bottle at the movie theater might be $5. And then you go on an airplane and the water is like $8. And you're like, I can get the same bottle of water for $2 at the gas station down the street. What's going on? It's the environment. Your value goes up based on where you are. If you're not valued where you are, move somewhere else. But first, value yourself. So sure, there was a time when I was in high school and I was like, well, dang, nobody's asking me out. Everybody else has a boyfriend. Everybody else has a date to prom, but not me. Why is that? And it did get to me for a second. And then I talked with my mom. My mom is my best friend, and she is just an amazing person. She was like, Jaden, you're beautiful, you're talented, you're smart, you're funny. You have it all. You just aren't appreciated where you are, and I'm sorry for that. But that's how it is. Don't base your worth on the attention you are or are not getting right here, right now. And I'm like, yes, girl, you're right. So I'm telling you the same thing right now. If nobody told you that, I'm here to tell you that. Don't forget it. So please stop being so hard on yourself and trying to change yourself when you are worthy of being respected and loved, not just by others, but by yourself, as you are right now. And one thing about self-love and self-respect is that the amount of those things that you have can be picked up on by others. So if you treat yourself with zero love, zero care, zero respect, that treatment of yourself will be reflected in others. People are mirrors. If you feel crappy about yourself and you just date any and everybody that will give you attention and you get treated in a crappy way, I'm sorry to tell you, but there's a reason for that, hun. Once you raise your self-love, self-respect, self-care, and standards, you will be treated better. Your experience with others, with the world around you will be different. So start to change your self-concept and embody the qualities that you admire in others and watch how differently the world will treat you. Decide right now, today, that you are worthy of love, happiness, respect, health, and success in the body that you're in right now, today. Because you are. The only thing holding you back from those experiences is yourself. If there are people around you that don't treat you with respect, remove them. If you don't treat yourself with respect, fix it. Your confidence will improve so much when you stop putting up with poor treatment. Stop putting up with people walking all over you and your boundaries, or boundaries that you haven't set yet, which is why you're being walked all over. When you start to respect yourself and live with integrity and discipline, you will naturally start to feel more confident about yourself. Let me tell you right now, if you're getting your confidence from everyone else in the outside world, that's why it's not going well. Because you know how quick people are to change their opinions or change what's trendy. Like, you could be loved today and hated tomorrow. If you change the way you feel about yourself just because somebody doesn't like you anymore, you're always going to be seeking external validation. And that's exhausting. Validate yourself, love yourself, and the world will love you too. How would you speak to yourself? How would you feel about yourself? How would you dress yourself? How would you express yourself to others if you hadn't been programmed to think that there was something wrong with you, that there was some reason you shouldn't be confident? I bet you'd be a little nicer to yourself. I bet you'd wear that outfit that's been sitting in your room unworn. Maybe the tags are still on because you're too embarrassed or too scared to be cringe to wear it. What will people think of me if I wear this? What will people say about my body if I wear this? Does it make you happy? So put the outfit on. How would you talk to yourself if you hadn't been told growing up that there was something wrong with the way you look? How would you feel about yourself if you hadn't been told that you weren't smart? How would you feel about yourself if that person hadn't said, I date you, but I don't like blank girls? Remove all of that from your mind. I know it's hard. I grew up being told, you're pretty for a black girl. Oh, so I can't just be pretty, period. I'm only pretty for a black girl? Okay. Well, I choose not to accept that. I choose not to put my worth, my self-esteem in what you have to say about me. You shouldn't change internal things to try and make people like you more, and you shouldn't change external things to try and make someone desire you more. If you decide you want to make a change, internal or external, because you want to, good, do it. Okay. As long as it's coming from you. But if you're internalizing all the things that have been thrown at you from social media, society, that ex-boyfriend, that bully at school, if you're internalizing that and that's why you want to make a change, don't do it. Because then you'd be living for the approval of others when you don't need it in the first place. It does not matter how much you shrink your personality to try and make others more comfortable. They could still not like you. It doesn't matter how much you try to shrink your waist. That person could still not want to date you. Make changes to yourself, whether they're internal or external, for you, so that you will like the person you see in the mirror more. But don't do it in the hopes that other people will like you more. Now I want you to think about your celebrity crush. Now I want to remind you that there is someone out there that doesn't think they're attractive. There's someone out there that would not date them. This person that you have put on a pedestal that you think is just the hottest, cutest thing ever, there's somebody out there that doesn't like them. And I'm sure they're a beautiful person because we all are. But just because you're a beautiful person doesn't mean you're going to be everyone's type. Just like not everyone likes coffee, not everyone likes tea. We all have our preferences. And that's okay. Let people have their opinions, but don't let it change your opinion about yourself. You need to get to know yourself and your triggers and your likes and dislikes so much that when you hear something about yourself that isn't true or that makes you question yourself, you can come back to center and realize, nope, that's not who I am. I'm not what they said about me. I'm not that kind of person. And if anyone wants to believe that, okay, there's nothing I can do about it. But I know myself. And because I know myself, that doesn't affect me like it used to. I want you to get to that place. Now I'm going to remind you that that celebrity crush still has insecurities. They still have bad days. They still have people that don't like them, just like we do. They're human as well. And just because you've put someone on a pedestal doesn't mean that they feel like they're on a pedestal. Don't invalidate or diminish the person that you are or the way that you look just because of a few insecurities. Just because you don't think you're the prettiest person ever. There's always going to be someone prettier, more talented, more intelligent, funnier, richer. That doesn't mean that you should let it stop you from loving yourself and living a life you want to live. Because no one wants to get to the end of their life and look back and feel nothing but regret. Regret for the chances they didn't take. Regret for the dreams they didn't pursue. Letting other people dictate their lives. You do not want to look back at life with a head full of what ifs because you were too afraid to live your life the way you wanted to for fear of what others would think or say. It's just silly. And it's really the spotlight effect. Now, if you do have some very vocal people telling you what you should and shouldn't do, I'd say put a boundary up there. Don't take on and absorb every opinion and every energy that isn't your own. Sometimes people who love us mean well, but they don't know how we feel about something. they don't know our dreams. They don't know what we can envision for ourselves or what we want. So if you want to do something, but someone close to you doesn't think it's a good idea, are you going to let that stop you? Sometimes people mean well, but hold us back. And if your confidence comes from the validation and compliments of others, I want you to go ahead and remove the idea of dating from your mind right now. Because you need to get to know, like, and love yourself before you try to do that with anyone else. If you don't, you're going to have a whole slew of insecurities and triggers that you bring into the relationship that could end up making things worse as opposed to better, or you could end up self-sabotaging. So work on cultivating confidence that comes from within so that you can carry yourself in the world and into a relationship eventually in a way that your higher self would. And who cares if you're the single friend? I've been the single friend for years, and I love it over here. You know how many people in relationships are miserable? A lot more than would care to admit it because they want to save face. Nobody wants to say, yeah, I'm in a relationship because I just can't be alone and I just wanted to have somebody to make me feel better about myself. Nobody's going to tell you that. But that is the truth for some people. Don't let it be you. Some people would rather be unhappy in a relationship than happy out of one. Doesn't make sense to me personally, because I'd rather it be me, myself, and I, as opposed to being with somebody who makes me feel miserable. That's just so draining. If whoever you're with doesn't add to your life, and you feel like they're constantly taking and draining from you, it's probably time to go. Probably shouldn't be dating that person. I know that there's give and take in relationships, and you're not at 100% every day, but if this person makes you feel worse about yourself and actually adds to your insecurities instead of contributing to your confidence, they gotta go. Bye-bye. You don't need someone like that. Because if you're gonna have to keep building yourself up because someone else is tearing you down, please explain to me what the point of that is. That's just more stress, hurt, and heartache on you. So enjoy your single life if you're single right now. No, I don't mean enjoy by going out and sleeping with people who don't deserve your sacred energy or body, but enjoy your singlehood by making new friends or getting closer with old ones, finding new hobbies that you enjoy, getting to know yourself, your likes, your dislikes, your triggers, what you want in a relationship, the qualities that you want to develop in yourself and that you look for in someone else. Building yourself up, not relying on someone else to do that for you. That's what I mean. So take yourself out on dates. Have a self-care night in at home. And like Tam says, buy yourself the damn flowers. Do all of that stuff for yourself so that when you do start dating and you meet someone, you can recognize whether they're giving you breadcrumbs or the whole loaf. And you know how many people you could have been saved from by being lonely? You've probably dodged at least a couple of bullets by now. And you're over here focusing on the lack of a partner instead of the kind of person that you could become while you're waiting. It's all about perspective. And we are in the age of social media. So if you don't have boundaries in place online, you could be deepening the wound of insecurity every time you start scrolling. If following certain people on social media makes you feel worse about yourself, unfollow them. If you find that you're triggered or feeling insecure by just about everything you see on social media, then it's probably time for you to do a detox and just delete the app for a while. Maybe for good. Maybe you'll like life without social media. Who knows? But I'm also not going to sit here and say that it's the other person's fault for posting in that outfit or in that bikini. Like, oh, they're making me feel bad about myself. Oh, they're only posting the good parts of their life. Or they're sucking in or they're flexing in that photo. Okay, and they have a right to do that. It's social media. Everyone's posting their highlight reel. Not very many people are posting the bad days. And we're not entitled to see that either. So if you find that you are triggered by a bunch of people online, then I would say, first of all, be gentle with yourself. There's nothing wrong with you for that. But that is showing you that you need to do some inner work. What is it about these photos, these people, the life they live? What is it about it that triggers you, that makes you feel insecure? Jealousy is a doorway to our desires. If you find that you're jealous of someone or something, it just means that you have a desire for that. So if you're ever unsure of what you want in life, just look at what you're jealous of. Are you jealous of that person's physique, of their house, their car, their clothes, the vacations they go on, how close they are with their family, their loving friendships, their amazing healthy relationship? What is it that you're jealous of? Really look into that. But once you've done the inner work to figure out what it is you're jealous of and why, you need to take action. If you wish you were as in shape as that person, start exercising. If you wish you were an entrepreneur like that person, start the business. If you wish that you had a loving, healthy relationship like that person, start dating when you're ready and don't accept anything below your standards. If you're jealous of the friendships that someone has, start attending events, going to classes for things you enjoy, going to cafes, getting involved in community groups in your area. You could meet the love of your life and your new bestie in the same group. The only thing holding you back is you. Start talking to people, because you'll never know what can happen. But if you stay in the house like a hermit, you never will. I want you to start speaking to yourself with more kindness and love. Matter of fact, next time you start speaking to yourself negatively, I want you to think of little you, your 7-year-old self, and then try to finish that sentence. Chances are you won't be able to. I hope you can't. I hope you wouldn't talk to a 7-year-old the way that you talk to yourself when you're on a negative, self-deprecating spiral, because you would hurt their feelings. But what do you think you're doing to yourself every time you tear yourself down? And it hurts. It's sad to think of it that way when you realize that you've not just been talking to your 25-year-old self or your 35-year-old self, 45. You're talking to your 5-year-old self too, your 15-year-old self, who needs love, nurturing, and validation and kindness. You're speaking to your inner child as well. So please be kind to them. Please be kind to yourself at any and every age. And the kindness that you show yourself will reflect outwards, and others will start treating you with more kindness as well. And if they don't, then they're not a resonant match. They don't need to be in your life. And that's okay. Leave them where they're at, but don't stay back there with them. For some reason, we think it's okay to be super hypercritical of ourselves and say things to ourselves that we would never dream of saying to a close friend or family member. So stop. Start treating yourself as well as you would treat your loved ones. Start changing your self-concept to be a positive, loving one. And watch your life change. Seriously. There's a study on plants that shows how poorly they grow when they're spoken to negatively or flat out ignored versus how much they thrive when they are spoken to with love and treated with care. Plants, they're living too. And if we as humans are living, breathing, growing beings, why do we think that there's no consequences to treating ourselves poorly, to ignoring our needs, to talking down to ourselves, and if we allow others to do the same? There are consequences. You're just burying them deep within your subconscious and in your body, and internalizing that and feeling shame and guilt and insecurity. It's time to change the way that you speak to yourself and the way you allow others to speak to yourself. And your confidence will grow, just like the plants. We need to be loved, nurtured, cared for, and given the proper conditions to grow as well. Stop giving yourself crappy conditions and expecting your confidence to grow. And stop depending on others to give you better conditions, and start doing that for yourself. Water yourself and see how quickly you grow. I love you. I want you to love you. And I truly hope that this video has helped you in some way. Even if it's just helped one of you, then I've done what I came to do. I hope this video resonated with you. I hope that it will inspire you to start cultivating your confidence from within instead of relying on others, on the external world to make you feel confident, because that is just a roller coaster ride of emotions. So get to know you, love you, build your own confidence, and shine your light. If you watch all the way to the end, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and it helps the channel grow. And speaking of growing the channel, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button and the notification bell so you don't miss a video. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. And go ahead and watch one of these videos so we can keep hanging out. I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you. I love you. Bye.